So I really like this movie. I think if I have a critique of it, I think it has a few too many elements in it, maybe.
Yep.
And I think you're in agreement about this. I mean,
I don't get it.
The sports stats and specifically that come up at the beginning of the movie, which are just a joke. It's just
fine, but he does it multiple times in this one scene that you think, okay, no, the guy has like a Terminator eyeball, so he can zoom in and like bring up facts because he's kind of like a machine. But then he's got all this heart and he's just a real soft person. So it's like, which is it, man?
I was not taking it as this is what Beck actually sees.
But doesn't it? I guess you have to watch a lot of football to totally get that that's what this reference is. Because to me, it was Terminator reference and video game.
Yeah,
it felt like he had like a computer brain. Like, what were they trying to prove here? That he really studied up for this assignment, or that he used to be a football player? Because is this like a nod to his days in Miami? I don't understand. So, like, who's the joke on? Who's this? Is this an inside joke or is it for everyone? Because I don't get it.
Yeah.
Did he like really read his boss gave him an envelope? Here's your new job. I'm going to learn what all these people's jersey numbers are. Or I'm just really into football, so I know this. Don't worry, club owner. I don't know which it is.
So that he is a football fan, we see.
Yeah.
Which I think is very funny because
I love that he doesn't want to hurt them for the coming season. I love that.
And that I guess it is that he's a big nerd. Because the movie opens with he's listening to the radio and some guy on the radio is talking about mushrooms and he's like, the best type of mushroom is
Emerald
a porcini.
Lagasse.
Okay, sorry.
He's a New Orleans native. Bam.
And so, and The Rock, as Beck, try to call him back in this movie, writes that down in his little notebook. Porcini mushroom.
Because he's going to have a restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's sweet.
But he's a little nerd who's like, I need to make my plans. Remember porcini mushroom. He's kind of like Jamie Foxx in Collateral, where he's like, he's just got big plans. This taxi driving job is temporary. Peter Berg was also in that movie, Collateral. So how about that?
How about it?
But we see Peter Berg come in and call Beck into the club. He's like, this is an extremely private, ritzy party. So he brings Beck into the club and he's like, here's the deal with the target. And they pass Arnold Schwarzenegger on the way. Have fun. And Beck stares down at all the football players in the bar. These are all members of whatever team this is. And so we get the on-screen 2002 ESPN graphics that tell us, what position they play, what college they went to, their weight and height. And
fine. But the fact that he can rattle this off about each of them, their weight, their height, where they went to college, that's some sort of like photographic memory shit right there. So I think they needed to have not done it here, or when it's time now to go to the next job, this last job, I need to see that you studied up on this too. You zoom into the bad guy. Fucking Fletcher. What is his name? Hatcher. This. Wanted for this. Alias is this. And then rich guy. Your daddy won Chicago trouble. Blah, 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 blah. Like, but no. It's gone.
You're right. I think this might be the bias of like Peter Berg, whose next movie is a football movie and just he loves sports. That to a sports fan, it's not weird to know where everybody went to college and what their measurements are.
Okay.
Because like I can tell you every football player where they went to school. I'm not good with height and weight, but I know jersey numbers.
I know you do. But that club owner didn't. I mean, that club owner seemed like he was going to describe who they were, but then he was like, I got this one. Like, so I guess it's just a pissing match at that little moment. Let me show you how manly I am. I already know all this shit.
And I like that Peter Berg as the club guy is like, I don't care. I don't like football. But The Rock continues explaining like, well, and he went to Mississippi State. It's like, why are you telling him this? He doesn't care. But I like that the whole team is here, but the quarterback of the team, he throws like Brett Favre and he bets like Pete Rose. So he's in deep with the loan shark, and The Rock just has to go down there and collect from him. Mm-hmm. And so again, I like how low stakes this is.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a good amount of money, but still, this is just over like $50,000 over some gambling money.
He's a gopher.
Mm-hmm. And he goes down to this quarterback, Brian Knapp Miller.
In fact, this is interesting because you get the sense he probably never has to travel to do these gopherings. Because you're right. He's just a go collect the money from a loan shark.
Mm-hmm.
You don't loan all over the place.
Right.
You loan locally. He was really out of his element when he had to go to Brazil.
He goes down to the quarterback, Brian Knapp Miller, and he's like, hey, and the quarterback's like, hey, man, I can't get you a tryout. Sorry. He's like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here because you owe a lot of money. And the quarterback just kind of brushes him off. He's like, look, here's a G to get you started. Now get out of my face. And The Rock's like, well, that's not going to work. I'm going to need some collateral from you. I'm going to need your Super Bowl ring. But look, just give me it under the table. You know, it's fine. I won't embarrass you. And the guy's like, no, fuck you. And so Beck walks away, and I like that, like, he's not excited about this job he's doing, and he can be a little flustered, but he is an extremely capable, violent man who does not want to do that. He would rather just talk calmly with this guy.
He's reluctant. His very stature is imposing. So you come up on these people, they think you're here to fuck them up, and then you're gentle, and they're like, oh, no, thank you. I will disrespect you. You are a fucking sucker. For you to even offer this means you're weak. So they don't expect the flip. But he's a very reluctant bad guy. Physically imposing, beat him up guy. He doesn't want to beat him up. He wants to cook him up.
Yeah. So he calls his boss and he's like, look, he's not going to hand me over the ring. What do I do? The guy's like, well, kick some ass. Do the shit that you do. And he's like, but listen, the team has a very legitimate shot at repeating this year. I don't want to hurt them, which I love.
Yeah, it's $50,000. He's good for it.
The whole offensive line is there, and he's like, I could actually really hurt the team.
Like, send a letter to his mom. She'll fucking yell at him and get the $50,000. You don't have to do this.
But the guy's like, no, go kick some ass. So he does. He kicks some ass. My favorite, he battles the whole football team. My favorite part is when he takes the turntable from the DJ stand and smashes it into the guy's face, which makes the music stop.
Yes.
And then the on-screen stats for Beck come on. Yeah. And this is the rundown. But then in the parking lot, he gets shot with some beanbags.
And then you're like, wait, is this like a quirk of the boss of this little gang that the only non-lethal weapons here? Like, you're not allowed to use guns. In fact, you have to dislodge every gun that you find. You can't use bullets. You got to use beanbags. Like, they all have their little non-lethal tricks. It's a very ethical little crime circle.
I know. It's not. Yes, it's
nice.
It's nice. That's nice. That's you being nice.
They're being nice.
Yeah, get shot with the beanbags.
Sorry, mate.
So he goes up to his boss and he's like, I got shot with beanbags, so I don't have the shit anymore. But and his boss is like, oh, sorry. Once you called me, I thought you were going to puss out on me, so I had to get somebody else. I had to get some backup. But yeah. And The Rock is like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. You owe me a lot of money. Give me my money, and I want to leave and start my restaurant now.
Come on. Clean bill of health.
And the guy is like, all right, fine, but you got to do one last job. Here's what's going on. My son is in the Amazon. He's in the city of El Dorado. That's right. It's real. El Dorado, down in Brazil. Go down to El Dorado, please, and please do collect my son and return him. Walk my son through those doors, and the slate will be wiped clean. You'll get $250,000 seed money for your restaurant. Okay, good. The son, Travis, Seann William Scott, he is a Stanford dropout who thought he could be a treasure hunter, but he got in trouble in the gold mining town of El Dorado. And I like this line. He's like, so he pissed off the wrong person, and the guy says, The Rock's boss says, so I bought him some forgiveness. But if I don't bring him back here to face the music, well, you know I can't carry a tune.
Like, it worked for me in the moment, but now I'm like,
yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
What the fuck?
But I love lines like that. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think the movie's issue is that it's playing with too many different genres, because you have like kind of hard-boiled crime right here,
right?
Where
but
people will say stuff like this, but then it's also like a fun adventure movie.
Yes.
But then also a sort of Western.
Well, also sort of Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's an adventure movie. I'm sorry. But the story, the plot literally is Star Wars the whole time. Like, that's the first thing that stood out to me.
All right, you said this to me. You want to explain this?
I mean, it's the reluctant hero who's in it because it's a job. He's going to get paid, and then he finds himself in like a real moral situation where there are lives at stake. This is literal slavery. This is one man trying to take over this entire empire, and should he join up with literally the people called the rebels? And so, you know, it goes in there for a job, but he ends up doing a mission or two because it's the right thing to do. He's Han Solo. That's it. But it ended up being that was like in the, I don't know, or first, that was in the beginning of the movie, and it grew into its very own thing. I didn't have to think of it like that anymore. But anyway, yeah. Felt very Star Wars.
And when Lacey says this is like Star Wars, she means, oh, this sucks.
No. I just meant I know that George Lucas picked a very classic formula for his story. So me saying this is like Star Wars, I could say it for 1,000 movies because it's just a very it's just very usable. It's just when literally Rosario Dawson says we're rebels, I'm like, okay, really? But this is something, this is very real. You see it. They're sweaty, they're dirty, they're fucked up looking. The people who, you see the pain on these people. It's a really effective way in a lighthearted movie of giving you stakes. I don't think it's easy to thread that needle, and he does it in a bunch of different ways.
Well, like Star Wars, this plane that The Rock flies down in, he looks at the wing, he's like, is that duct tape? Everything's kind of falling apart. All the equipment's kind of shitty.
Well, you need a screwy guy in an airplane. Every fucking person that drives a helicopter or a plane in one of these movies has to be weird.
Yeah, if I'm a Scottish guy who ended up in El Dorado, Brazil, flying a little plane, I'm going to be fucked up somehow. Because this is played by Ewan Bremner, Spud from Trainspotting. Maybe this literally is Spud after he got the $10,000.
Sure.
And this is where he went. I'm ignoring what happens in Trainspotting 2.
Got it.
Where we just find out, here's what he did with that money. He bought lots of drugs and it ruined his life. Spoiler alert. But yeah, he's funny. He's like, oh, we can't
funny.
land. There's booze on the grind.
There's buttes.
Booze on the grind. And The Rock says, booze?
Buttes. It's fucking cows. Buttes.
Bulls. He's saying bulls.
He's not.
Yes, he is. I watch it with subtitles.
Big longhorn buttes.
That's not what a butte is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, butte is a geographical formation. So you're saying that a bull's horns are called buttes?
I thought a bull was called a butte.
All right, let's look this up.
Like a type of cow.
A butte is a flat-topped hill.
Or a cow.
Butte cow.
There you go, butte cow. History of the butte cow right there.
History of the butter cow. Missing the word butte. There's buttes on the grain.
You got me on this one.
So yeah, they arrive in El Dorado surrounded by a jungle full of dangerous animals and also rebels. And Ewan Bremner's like, you don't want to go into the jungle. Ooh, there's anacondas. Stay away from that jungle. It's very scary. Methinks he'll be in that jungle though. All centered on this mining town, this mining concern run by Hatcher, who staffs this with indigenous Brazilians who he pays slave wages. And there's a sign on the road that says El Dorado, but altered to say Hell Dorado.
And they get that across right away. I don't totally understand what's going on, but then, I mean, it doesn't take long before I'm like, oh. So good job. They're explaining very complicated shit without not a lot of exposition, and I'm not confused the whole time.
Yeah, this screenplay is really good at doling out the exposition. Later, there's a thing The Rock will say to Rosario Dawson. It's just like, yeah, I got pushed around a lot and I pushed back, and eventually I pushed back on the wrong person. And it's like, that's basically all you need to know about him.
Well, right. And that it was, word got around that I was good at it. So I did it.
So we meet Seann William Scott as Travis and Rosario Dawson as Mariana. And
it seems like a romantic situation is happening. So I'm like, oh, is there going to be a love interest in this movie? I didn't know there was room for one. And it's just Seann William Scott trying to get some favors off of this lady that he has befriended in this town. He is rich, but he doesn't have any stuff. He needs
to borrow her boat, her uncle's boat. Because he found the Gato. The Gato.
Behind the moving curtain.
And it's just this priceless artifact. And he's like, can I have your uncle's boat to go get the Gato? And she's like, I'll go with you and I'll get the Gato and we'll split it 50-50. He's still kind of doing his Seann William Scott thing, the Stifler thing, but it's toned way down.
He's using a straight, like his eyes aren't squinty. Look at him. He looks handsome. He just has a normal face. And he has an odd, that's a very distinctive face, but he's handsome as shit. In a way that I've never found him handsome before.
It's just very interesting to watch him in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of a funny action guy.
Right. Oh, God, it really feels like a missed opportunity. It's not too late. Guys have so many years on them because the more grizzled you get, the more handsome you get for some fucking reason. So, Seann William Scott.
We get a look at this mining place, this mining company. It really does look like hell on earth. We've got Harvey, who is Christopher Walken's second in command. He's played by John Grease, the guy from the show from White Lotus, who killed Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my God!
You killed me.
You killed me.
The gays are trying to kill me.
Why can't I have an impression that's mine? You have 100 of them. Can you get off my dick?
They asked The Rock, do you have a gun? He's like, no, I don't like guns. The deal with this character, he doesn't like guns. Finally, this camp, it's under constant surveillance. They're armed to the gills, and they have big whip men.
Right.
But The Rock, he surveys and he sees all the angles. Right. And so we get our first look.
We zooming in. He's got the fucking zoomy brain again. It's like, oh, where's the graphics? I don't know about football.
We get our first good look at Christopher Walken, and he's like, tell them to dig harder. If only it were that simple. So he's introduced to Mr. Beck. Do you know Travis, this man Travis? And Christopher Walken's like, yeah, I let him stay in town because he wants to do some excavating, and I told him he could in exchange for 60% of whatever he might find.
A very fair wage, a very fair split.
And what Christopher Walken says is, why? Do you have business with him? I love business. Why come to me? He's like, because when I go into a man's house, I don't like to open his refrigerator without asking first. So he's like, come here, look at this.
Look at this big hole in the ground.
Shows him the big hole in the ground.
All the men inside.
Does this look like a refrigerator?
If it is, it's overrun with rodents.
And he says, no, it looks like hell. Well, you see hell, I see spellbinding opportunity. And he gives a great villain monologue, it's all about keeping your eye on the ball. Someone needs a Rolex watch. Well, how do you think they get it? They get it from here.
And somehow Beck leaves with his question being answered, which is, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna go get that guy then. Then he's like, you can extricate him, but he owes me $10,000. So, but you don't know that you think The Rock's gonna go get him and get Travis to pay him. That's what I thought. I thought they'd make a stop.
I took it as The Rock knows this guy runs this town. I have to pay him tribute in order to conduct my own business.
Sure, but this Travis guy's rich. Let me just go get the money from him. That's what I'm saying. It was not totally clear that The Rock made that transaction. So actually, I'm a little surprised when The Rock goes to the next scene, goes to get Travis, and just as it's very clear he plans to go straight to the airplane. I'm like, oh, okay, Mr. Good Guy, Mr. Straight and by the man of his word, you aren't going to pay that $10,000. That's why all this is going to ensue. Hatcher's going to want his 10 grand, which is so low stakes. I should have realized, but that's not what it is.
No, he goes to the bar where Rosario Dawson works. And she's like, hey, you're American? Yeah. Where are you from? Some places got bartenders. I kind of like that. There's this annoying exchange about the Brazil nuts. Here we just call them nuts. But hey, Travis Walker, here you are. This is one of many times he does the thing got two choices, option A or option B.
He really wants people to choose option A.
Option A, you just come quietly. Option B, I kick the shit out of you when you leave anyway.
No way his boss was like, okay, here's what you do when you're a gopher of mine. You always opt for them to get out of here alive. It's like, nope, this is just the moral code of this man because he is reluctant to be this guy.
Right. And Seann William Scott says, I'll take option C. And option C is I try to fight you, I break a bottle on your head, but he just immediately gets his ass kicked.
I really thought option C was going to be let me go get the gato. I'm going to split the money with, that's what it was.
There's a little bit too much shifting alliances and I'll get the gato and I'll share it with you, but no, I'll betray you and run off with the gato myself, but I'm going to send you the money, but don't worry.
I don't know. I think it tracks. It's just a lot of people reacting to the situation they're in with the leverage that they have. I think it is a little bit oh, look, Rosario Dawson is actually the leader of the Rebel Alliance here. But it's not that stupid because if you want a person in the town that's going to serve as your mole, you need her to be the most capable and the person they'd least expect. And her being beautiful doesn't hurt. So I'm like, even this I buy.
So Christopher Walken and his goons, they show up in the bar just as Beck is about to leave with Travis. Yeah, they show up. The bad guys show up. And Beck is like, but I paid you. And Christopher Walken is Hatcher. He's like, unfortunately, I had my fingers crossed. So he's not going to leave because he needs Travis to lead him to the gato. And The Rock now is like, well, I'm going to leave with my prisoners. Sorry. And this is just like a classic Western scenario.
Yeah.
Of like, nope, I'm taking him to be hanged. Literally like the first scene of Deadwood.
Don't even talk about Deadwood.
I'm facing a giant posse, but I, a righteous man, will do what is right. I'm going to take this man to Los Angeles for justice in the form of his dad punching him in the face. But he single-handedly fights all of them off without a gun. It's pretty cool.
And he really inconveniences them by taking the thingies out of the thingies when he grabs their guns. Now they're going to have to bend over, grab it, go ka.
That's why heroes are always doing that, why they're always emptying the guns, because it's like now you're creating more work for them. God damn it.
I don't think heroes are always doing that. That's just
They
this
are
guy's
always doing
thing.
it.
No, they're not. You're talking about when people are reloading.
Now, what
but
if
yeah, sometimes they're just
I
like
just saw this in something. What
at
was
the
it?
John Wick, I think.
That's probably
Yeah,
it,
because it's just like, okay, I can't grab all these guns, but I also don't want you guys grabbing them behind me and chasing me. So let me at least like unload a few and then grab the ones I can carry.
If you're interested in one man fighting a bunch of guys in a bar without using guns, watch Scott Adkins's movie Avengement. Very fun. Just a little sidebar for everyone.
This one. This one's good.
Yeah, this one's good too.
Every fight scene is good and it doesn't go on for too long, which is always my complaint with action.
Mm-hmm. So a guy takes out a whip and flicks it at the Rock, but the Rock just grabs the whip.
For sure there's going to be an Indiana Jones joke, but he doesn't have a gun.
Right.
Like, he can't do the joke.
Can't do that joke. And so they just escape easily. And Christopher Walken's like, they're dead already. They just don't know it. In the Jeep, Seann William Scott is just like running his mouth. He's like, dude, you gotta, okay, come in to get the Gato with me. I'll double it. I'll quadruple it. I'll double it and quadruple it. Come on, man. No, you're not going to listen to me. Okay, I will grab the wheel and make us tumble down the mountain to our deaths.
But no, he's just really confident. He's like, I have fallen twice now down this thing on accident. So I already know I can do it. That's my take. He's like, no, we're going right into the river where I need to get a boat and all this shit. Like I just need to show this man the Gato and he will know that we need to stay.
Okay. Yeah. So he knows they are a good team. He's a good planner.
Yeah. I mean, I think at every moment you realize, no, he seems like a fumbling idiot, but he knows what to do next. And it's a huge jungle. But this whole time he's known, I need to get the car off the road here because right down there on that river, and this part of the river is where I think it's key that they were on the road first. It oriented him.
So Travis manages to unhandcuff himself, but then Beck easily catches up with him. And Seann William Scott does the, what's this? Where he like, describe what this is.
Weird. He's just trying to do some misdirection long enough to get close enough to actually land a punch. And I'm sure this is just a skill he's like honed from having a very violent dad, which is like, that guy's big, but I can be tricky. He's like, look at this thunder, and he's just wiggling his leg, and look at this lightning,
lifting up a foot. Like, oh, am I going to kick you with this foot
or this foot? And then he gets it's just all a bunch of like, where am I coming from, so that I can get closer to you.
Do you think this is funny?
No.
Okay.
I don't, and I don't need it to be a bit, but I do like it. The one time it works when he's in that store with that other guy. Mm-hmm. Then I like that he's like, whoa, it worked, and then you can tell he studied fighting in a book, because then he just repeats what he's like, foot, eyes, crotch, or whatever he does, and he's like saying self-defense words out loud. So he's like, I've been waiting to get this close for this reason. Ha ha ha! Oh my god,
that's so nice for him that he finally got to do it.
I brained my way into this. I've been reading on this.
Well, The Rock just punches him in the face.
Right.
And
many times.
But I guess the funny thing about Travis, guys, is he won't be deterred. Mm-mm. Nothing will actually stop him. So he just like jumps on top of The Rock. Like whenever he gets the upper hand, it's be like, I will be so annoying to you that I will win, or I will at least, slow you down.
Right.
Christopher Walken is so mad that they've gotten away, so he gives the Tooth Fairy speech. I think this is the best remembered thing from this movie. Is like he's explaining to all these, like indigenous Brazilians who work for him. He's like, there are two men out in the jungle trying to steal from me. I feel like a little boy who's lost his first tooth, waiting for the Tooth Fairy to come. Only two evil burglars crept into my window and snatched it before she could get it. Do you understand the concept of the Tooth Fairy? They have my tooth. I want it back.
Did you notice that Mr. Grease here is wearing a scorpion necklace?
Oh, hey. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey. Spinoff, maybe.
Oh, hi. Okay. I did not expect to like this part. But now we're in this, they're still walking through the jungle together. Who knows for what end? And Sean Michaels Booth needs to pee, and his hands are behind him. And I this is an interesting thing because you don't think it's going to work, but he's adamant, I will not pee on myself. Like, okay, so the Rock would just be like, I don't care. Pee on yourself. Like, who? It's just peeing on yourself. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't know why he's got to be so moved to, but there is something about Travis that Beck likes, even if he doesn't know he likes it yet. But there's something about him where he's like, okay, I'll let you keep your fucking dignity. I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want this to be trauma for the rest of your life. So he agrees to unzip. And I'm just thinking, like, what an interesting
dilemma.
No, what an interesting mind power this man has over his dick, that he's so sure he's going to be able to maneuver it up and out and over. And then once it's out, how are you getting it back in? I don't. So this is like just not very well thought out. But then it's a very funny, convincing jumping around for him to get his dick out. He finally gets his dick out. I'm so relieved because I need to pee at this point too. And then during all the commotion, the unstoppable Beck gets a booby trap. Apparently very common in the jungle. This does not surprise Travis at all. And now Travis still has his hands behind his back, has his dick dangling out, I suppose, but has the upper hand for the first time. And hilarity ensues because he doesn't have it for long. He also gets in a tricky trap.
Yeah, he finds the handcuff keys. He uncuffs himself, and then he's like, "Oh, and what's this? Your little diary? What's in this?" And the Rocks are like, "Don't read it, no!
It's got mushroom."
And it just says like mushroom porcini, like a
little
veal
house.
marsala,
a little house, a little man,
and he's making fun of him, but then he ends up in one of these things too.
So now
they're both hanging upside down.
And it's like a sweet little synchronized swing thing. But Travis knows what to like. This is not, he's gotten stuck in one, and again, he's got like a STEM brain. He's a smart guy. He's like, here's what we got to do. I think, right? Is he one that says to put our backs together?
I don't remember which of them says it.
Oh shit, fuck. Well, I don't know. They're swinging in tandem, and then all of a sudden, the monkeys. And I did not expect this to be funny, but when the monkey, he's like, they're humping you because of asserting their dominance. And he's like, the Rock is just really funny here. He's just like, oh no, I don't know what he's doing, but like, there is something so very disturbing about the butts of these kinds of monkeys. I'm for sure thinking they're going to put a butt in the Rock's face. And that might probably be like too graphic because those butts are like wet and shiny and they look like labia. Anyway, so just a lot of monkey dick that you don't see. Is very classy choice.
And apparently the Rock really did let a monkey fuck him.
Okay.
Like his leg. No, I won't let a stunt person do it. I'll do it. I'm man enough to get fucked.
Okay.
Citation needed. I don't know if that's true. Okay. I think I just read it on Wikipedia.
I like it.
But yeah, a bunch of these monkeys try to fuck them, and then the rebels show up and rescue them. And there's the sequence where Seann William Scott is like, he's like, don't worry. Okay, that's their leader. You need to maintain constant eye contact with him, and I will speak Portuguese to them. And there's some funny subtitle jokes where he is telling them, this guy I'm working with, he says that you suck and your mom's ugly and that you...
Why does he stare at me like this?
That actually staring at me is a sign of disrespect. Their leader is Ernie Reyes Jr., who you might remember as Kino from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Okay, he did look familiar.
He is a trained martial artist.
He's amazing.
He was the body for Donatello in the first Ninja Turtles, and an actual stuntman and martial arts performer. And he is the leader of this little gang of rebels. And so they're going to have a little fight with The Rock.
He's not, but we think he is.
Well, they do fight.
But Rosario Dawson is the actual leader of the rebels.
Oh, yes. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Right. That says something you'd forget, isn't it? Because it's got a
That's on the next slide. So they begin this extended fight where they're doing, I guess, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not enough of a fight expert.
Trapeze.
But yeah, it's trapeze fight. And Peter Berg said he was inspired by the fight from They Live between Roddy Piper and Keith David, where it just goes on and on and on forever and has so many movements to it. But eventually Rosario Dawson comes in and she's like, boys, enough of that. Now they're just sitting around the fire.
Well, at first, Beck is really getting his shit handed to him. And it's funny because it's just like the other scenes. It's because he does not understand why they're fighting. He's trying to show some, like, the opposite of dominance, and just like give them all a chance. And then he's like, all right, I've been flung enough. Now let me show you how I am fucking... I could kill a couple people.
Yeah.
And the look of respect at the end of that scene is so I love it because you see him softening the guy who fought like a damn machine. He's just like, God damn it, that was good. And then they have this cute little back and forth. Who would win, Ali or Muhammad? And Tyson or Muhammad Ali. And I found it touching when he gives him the necklace. Like, no, you are truly a warrior. I thought it was sweet.
It is sweet.
I thought they did a really good job of like, these are people. These are people who are working their asses off to save all the rest of the people who can't fight. And we're bit by bit trying to make this harder for these capitalist murderers.
Yeah. Which is why Rosario Dawson explains that's why she is joined up with them. 65 cents an hour, Mr. Beck, she says, which I believe is what Disney is going to be paying the workers to build the Abu Dhabi park. And
are you kidding? Or you mean it?
That's what they...
That's the actual number?
It might be a little bit more than that, but there is a definition, like a UN definition of slave wages, and it is something like that.
Wow.
So they have the sweet conversation, Ali or Tyson, through translators, they have it. But then the goddamn bad guys show up, Hatcher and co, and they shoot.
Let us take a moment here to start thinking more about, or to build on our idea of like the sexless rock. He takes off his shirt and he fucking looks great when his shirt's off. I'm not into all that big muscle shit, but there's just something about his makeup that I'm like, okay. So that he can put salve on his cut. But like, why get The Rock to take his shirt off next to Rosario Dawson, rub some shit on his shit? She's turned away, and you're thinking she's going to turn back and go, damn, like they're setting up something, but nothing happens.
I know.
It's just a business partnership, and it's so lacking any sexual tension that I at one point think, okay, I guess Travis is actually going to get the girl here. I enjoy that neither of them did. That it's all just business. I like that. I didn't think this movie came out at a time where that was allowed, so good on you. But it's like the movie's trying, and then they're in editing, they're like, no, that didn't.
There's weirdly no sexual attraction or chemistry between Rosario Dawson, and The Rock.
Yes. Like, no, he's just like a little pop-up brother bear. He's Daniel Tiger. Like, he's just in the neighborhood. There's nothing there. I don't get it.
Yeah, because there is something nice about it not ending up with, there's no love triangle. But there's a reason that like sexual chemistry, romance is in movies, which is it is fun to see. It's a major part of human experience. Yes. And when all these people with their hot bodies are all with each other all the time in these heightened situations, it is a natural thing to happen. I mean, there was literally 2 kisses on the cheek in this movie. Yeah. They even attempted again where Rosario's like, she's the last one in the waterfall scene to come out of the water. And they do it kind of sexy, and she comes up and she's in just like a shirt, and it's wet and it's hot, and then they just right on to, it's like they're like, we got some shots just in case that's what this movie is, and both times I'm like, wrong movie. There's even a thing where Seann William Scott calls her to The Rock, says, my girl. You're trying to get my gato. You're trying to get my girl. Yeah. And it's like, but she doesn't seem like your girl, and also he doesn't seem like he wants her either. And I'm glad you pointed this out. Yes, it is kind of strange. It's not going to make this a movie bad. It's just interesting. Just like, wow, there were all the elements here, and you don't even have to like make it into anything. She's got a whole fucking city to rebuild. Like, she doesn't need a husband, but a little something. Come on now. I don't know. So they all escape, and the 3 heroes escape in a boat. They go on a little jungle cruise. This is the Indiana Jones section of the movie that went on a lot longer in my memory, but it's kind of short.
there's a lot. This is one time where I'm like, okay, what is going on? There's just a lot of staring at each other. Like I get it. They're all three trying to figure each other out. Like, what is this angle? Who are you? Why are you doing this? But it's just said through like her staring both of them down, him. They're all, it's just, if you watch it just for the staring from the boat and then into them walking after they get out of the boat, it's like, this is really a lot of fucking stare. Just say something. And then finally Rosario Dawson does. And she's like, why do you do this? It's like, you could have said this on the boat.
Why do you do this? He says the thing I said earlier, but like, I grew up in a rough place, got pushed back, standing in a room with the wrong people. You know, I'm just like you. And she's like, no, you're nothing like me.
Right.
She's an idealist. She believes in something. She's involved in a political cause.
In fact, I think Travis is displaying how smart he is the whole time. And this is the first moment where I'm like, this guy's fucking dumb. Beck, how are you anything like her? Because she got guns, she go boom boom. What the fuck?
Well, he only knows what he knows.
No, she's already explained it. He's already seen the slaves. He's already met Hatcher. He already got the fucking talk for the refrigerator. I
think to him it's like,
we all go boom boom, huh? Everyone that fights is bad.
I think he accepts what Christopher Walken says about like, our world necessitates the existence of camps like these. And I'm not going to put my head in the sand about it. This is basically what the Republican Party says. Like, we are going to need to do things like have exploitation of labor. We're going to have to need to lock up kids in cages, have ICE go raid elementary schools and stuff. And I only ask that you don't be a goddamn pussy about it. And Beck is like, yes, I agree. But here he's finding out, no, maybe I shouldn't agree.
But like, you already had the camp scene. You already got a necklace. That man died in front of your eyes right after giving you the necklace, and you still don't get it?
It's a slow evolution.
Oh,
this is the Han Solo arc that he is following.
Fine.
They get the Gato, which is in a temple, an Indiana Jones temple. And it just goes on a little while.
A little bit. This is where the movie drags a little for me.
Yeah, me too. And it also like, the temple like collapses and it really seems like they're stuck there forever, and then it just cuts in there around a fire later. Like, we did it. We got the thing.
We got the
idol.
I love when people are paralyzed in movies.
Me too.
Like comically, just like, or they're forced to talk weird like that.
Yeah, there was
guy or monkey.
When I did my Jurassic Park rewatch in Fallen Kingdom, which I think is the best of the Jurassic World movies, there's a part where Chris Pratt gets paralyzed and he's on the ground as lava is coming toward him. And it was like, that's a good idea. That's a good little thing. Let's raise the stakes. Show us something new, not just like, oh, a dinosaur. Oh, no.
And I just like when body parts come back to life, like later than others. So it's just like, I can get my ass up and then I can like, and like I can talk. So I'm just like, it's just a string. It's just your consciousness out loud because you can talk and that's all you can do. Oh no, lava.
So Rosario Dawson, she's sitting around a fire with them and she's like, yes, we have won the movie. Great. We have the Gato. We shall split the spoils. To celebrate, eat some fruit. And the other two eat some fruit and then they start tripping balls. And we have some CGI that makes their heads expand and stuff. And then they both drop to the ground and they're paralyzed.
They just have Snapchat filters, right?
And she's like, I'm so sorry, but I gotta. Although, why does she do this though? She's gonna like mail them their money.
She needs to rebuild this town. Like these people have been suffering. They need medical care. They need actual facilities. These guys, they want the bad guys out. So they're going to need money. Like she's still trying to take care of El Dorado or whatever. So yeah, she's going to sell it on the black market, get the money and help her people.
But she also tells Seann William Scott, like, I'm going to mail you your cut.
Yes. But because she doesn't want Seann Williams to like stop her from selling it a different way or going a different route. She needs the money then and now. And she doesn't want to wait on him to do whatever he's going to do. She wants to do it.
So, but she's like, hey, look, the fire will keep the bad animals away. In the morning, you're going to be unparalyzed. Just walk that way. There's your airplane.
Right. Well, she sticks to her word and gives him a little kiss. It's nice.
So they are paralyzed. It's now the next morning. They are still paralyzed. And the monkeys have returned. And so like, monkey.
It just happens to be exactly what we say when something bothers our sun, which is get out of here, bug, get out of here, whatever.
Frog.
Get out of here, clouds, get out of here, rain. And it's just, get out of here, monkey.
So the Rock is yelling all kinds of stuff at the monkeys, and Seann William Scott just keeps repeating, "Get out of here, monkey! Get out of here, monkey!" But they regain their just in time before they could be raped by the monkeys. They regain their control and walk back over.
He's asserting his dominance. Sorry.
Walk back over to Ewan Bremer, and he's like, "Oh no! I heard Rosario Dawson. She's been tortured and captured. Oh no!" And they're like, "Oh well, shit. That sucks."
No one's like, "Oh well." The Rock is like,
heck.
Rock's like, there goes that feeling again. That Han Solo feeling.
Yeah, so
that Han duo.
He handcuffs Travis to a post, and he's like, "I'm going to go help our friend." And Travis is like, "You can't do it alone. You need my help. You even need his help. You even need Ewan Bremner's help." And he's like, "Don't pull me into this. I got a bad knee."
You see it?
He's like, "Okay, fine. I'll uncuff you. And I know you're going to betray me somehow, but I'm just going to have faith that you'll help me in some way." So let's go. This starts with them.
Then they got the buttes. Which
Chekhov's buttes come back in the form of these bulls, these bears. And
they're a butte.
Ewan Bremer playing the bagpipe to invade this town.
Well, he's like, you fly the bagpipe, and he's like, "I'm just celebrating the harvest, but it looks like I walked too far."
And Christopher Walken, well, of course, The Rock has to do this thing where he gets into radio contact with Christopher Walken. And he's like, "Listen, I'm coming for you. So you have two options. Option A, leave town. Option B, I come fucking kill you and all your guys."
There goes your fucking benefit of surprise or whatever. I hate when people do that.
So Christopher Walken's like, "Lock down the town," and they lock down the town. And this very much becomes like Commando, where that Fortress Island locks down, but Arnold Schwarzenegger arrives anyway all by himself and kicks ass.
Kicks it.
And then there's a stampede of cattle with their buttes, which allows Travis and Beck to sneak in, and they start kicking ass themselves. And I think this is pretty fun. I don't think Peter Berg is a great action director. I think he is merely good.
Okay. I enjoyed this scene.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I like that the Scottish guy goes and sits down with that lady.
Yeah.
Just kind of has a beer. It just kind of mellows you out for the whole thing. Like, all right.
I guess I want it to be like a little more triumphant than it is. But like things are closing in on The Rock, and he starts like really becoming like Will Graham and Hannibal, like noticing all the things, doing all the math, noticing all the gun barrels.
He's been doing that the whole time, but only when Hatcher's around or fucking football players for some reason. But I was dumbfounded that you're going to put a big cross on someone's face of a broken nose like harness thing after the first fight scene, and no one in the entire movie is going to punch him in it.
Oh man, you're right.
I am nervous the whole time for when it's coming, because I know it's coming, because I've had a broken nose before, and I was like, "Don't do it." No, it never happens.
That is some bullshit.
Bullshit. Butte shit.
But he finally decides, "Fuck it, I'm getting guns."
Let me show you what happens when guns happen. I don't cock like this ever.
No.
Ever. I go, "Ha ha," and I go, "Ha ha," and then, "Hotaka." That's what happens when I get guns.
So there's a lot of him being a cool cowboy and shooting people and walking away from explosions.
I'm totally okay, except for when he walks away from the explosion. That's the only thing I'm like, that's so stupid. Except for that, I realized it was to juxtapose his walking from Seann William Start's Travis from Travis's like, "Oh," with the fire behind him. Like they do both separate instead of like together.
Yeah.
Because they're still very separate, Matt.
They are separate,
They're
but
not friends yet.
Travis does things his own way. He saves Rosario Dawson from John Grease,
Yeah.
and a giant water tower collapses onto him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we should have seen the shot of the big water thing landing on his nose.
On his nose.
And The Rock, the three whipsmen close in on him, and it looks like they're going to beat him. But Travis saves him by shooting one of them, and then he's like, "All right, walking away with the Gatto now."
Yeah.
And then Christopher Walken comes in. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, The Rock. But then Rosario Dawson shoots him.
She shoots his gun out, or I don't know. It's just like, you've got moves. Then that starts his negotiation. And then I'm glad it doesn't go on for too long, because like, just die.
Yeah, so
just
he starts
die.
Now all the rebels are just surrounding him and just staring at him. It's really good. And he's like, "I'm pumping the blood of the modern world into your backwood veins, you stinking ingrate Oompa Loompa morons." And one of them just shoots him.
And he gets shot twice in undefined place, and he's like, "I like option A," and he starts walking away, and then just, oh shit.
So like it's very mild, but like I don't know if a movie today would be this naked about this evil capitalist guy. Just I'm a businessman here to exploit you.
When did Blood Diamond come out?
2007?
And this is what?
2003.
Exactly.
Things changed.
No, I don't know. I thought it was anti-blood diamond. It's called a blood diamond.
No, it's in favor of blood diamonds. It loves them.
No, it's not.
So Travis returns. They're like, oh man, Travis, turns out he was only out for himself. And he's like, no, surprise, I'm out for you, my
Belongs
friends.
in a museum.
Here is the idol. And he gives it over to Mariano, who holds it up in triumph. And it really feels like The Rock is going to let Seann William Scott go. But he's like, no, I got a job to do.
So I got to do the thing. Right. He needs a clean slate. That man needs a restaurant. Peppercini.
Now, he could have told him what he was going to do, but instead he's like, no, we're going to fly back for 35 hours with you thinking I'm delivering you to your dad to be killed or whatever.
Wait, what are you talking about? He doesn't know he's going to help him. It's not till he sees how his dad's treating him that he changes his mind.
But he brought the fruit.
Yes, to put in food. This is not something he had in the forefront of his mind. Maybe he thought he'd get there and he'd see the dynamic and maybe he'd need the fruit. Maybe. Okay. But there's no way that was not something he figured out right in that. No, Matt. No. Because just like you said, why would he not tell him? That's mean.
That is mean.
So he's not a mean guy. Fucking add it up, Matt. He wanted, also you see the way he sees, like this is a person who would hit not just somebody with his arms tied behind his back who can't defend himself, but his own son with his like this guy's a man of honor and just doing things because they're the right thing. And he sees someone treat their kid like that. He just needed to see it. I'm right.
I think that this is the one time where you are right, even though you said you're right. But
Matt, I'm often right when I think I'm right. Often.
No, but you've pointed it out. When you are right and you know you're right, you say, wait, what do you say? Fuck, what do you say?
Exactly.
There's two things you say. I'm right and...
You're Indians.
What's the other fucking thing? What the fuck? Well...
Somebody's dyslexic.
Objecting to how much you've been saying Matt, because that means you're mad at me, but...
What?
We already talked about how mad we are at each other. So, okay, we're back at home, Mr. Walker's house. Beck hands him over through the door, just like they made the deal. The exchange is done. We now go our separate ways. And then the dad just punches his son in the face.
Mean.
And so Beck is like, you know what? Right before I leave, down in Brazil, they have the craziest custom. They eat fruit. Let's toast our new arrangement with the eating of fruit. And I like that Mr. Walker, the Seann William Scott's dad's like, yeah, let's just get this shit over with. Come on, boys. And all the boys gather around.
And the guy's like, some fruit. Seeds. I don't like big seeds.
And then they start tripping balls and then they all fall over paralyzed. So they go outside.
He forgot to kiss them all.
That's a key element of it. They go outside. Travis is like, thanks for doing that, but I still hate you. I'm still mad at you. Now I'm going to kick your ass with my little thing. Oh, the foot. Is the foot coming? Is this foot coming? Oh, I'm just kidding. Let's go. And the last line of the movie is The Rock saying, I'm going to kill him.
See, that's why you need another one. Is he going to kill him? Or are they going to have a great time with the restaurant and the peppercini and the cockatoo?